Hi everyone. I apologize for being a little off schedule. I'm kind of behind in my 1973 movies. They've been requested by a number of different people, and so I wanted to make sure that I got this done. I'm going to be doing two 1973 movie videos today and another two later on in the week, so I can be a little bit more caught up. Let's see here. Film Speak. Aaron requested that I do this film Day for Night, and Day for Night is a French film by Francois Truffaut, and it won the Oscar for Best Foreign Language Film for the year 1973. Francois Truffaut is someone who I don't think I've seen a lot of his films, but I can tell you that I knew him best from his acting in Close Encounters of the Third Kind. He is the person who is heading up the project, the government project to discover the source of the alien message and do what they can to prepare for the arrival of the ships. And he has an English translator, basically. Richard Dreyfuss is the main character, but he's one of the main characters as well. That's what I knew him from. But he is an extremely well-regarded French filmmaker, one of the best known in French cinema, if not the best known. So Day for Night is his 1973 film, and it takes place on a film set, basically. Day for Night is a term that they use when they are shooting a nighttime scene during the day. They'll use a filter, although nowadays they'll probably use some sort of post-production process to darken the sky and darken everything, so you can still really see what's happening. Whereas if you were to shoot at night, you need lights to illuminate everything. With Day for Night, basically, they can shoot in bright sunlight during the day, and then treat the film later on, or the image, affect it in some way in order to make it darker, to make it look like night. It doesn't really look too much like night because, moonlight is like super, super bright in a Day for Night scene. It just doesn't look quite like nighttime. But it's a term. It's something that they do in the film business. So the main character is played by Jacqueline Bissett, and she is an English actress who's been cast in the film, it's called Meet Pamela. And basically, the film that they're making is about a woman who has married a young man and then goes to meet his family, but then falls in love with and has an affair with the man's father. But the story of the film within a film is significant in the sense that it tends to mirror what actually happens on the set itself, at least partially. I wouldn't say that it's an exact replica of everything. That would just be a little bit too neat. Instead, you've got the various crew members some of whom are involved with each other when the film begins, and when the film begins, and they end up switching partners with each other. Technically, the film's interesting. They have a scene in the beginning where you've got a tracking shot following a long street, basically, and there's people walking around, cars passing by, and then you have a young man emerging from the subway station as he walks along, and then the camera moves away from him, but then comes back, follows another man as the two men meet in the street. And you see, this is actually a shot from the film itself, the film that they are making. And so then the director, who's of course played by Truffaut himself, reorchestrates the scene and shoots it again and shoots it another couple of times. And he wants all the elements. He wants the car to come into the frame at just the right moment. He wants this person to cross at just the right moment. And so you see that sort of process take place where he's trying to coordinate all the elements and time it just right so everything works neatly in the shot. I found this a little odd because the shot didn't actually focus on one character or the other, but would focus on one character and you follow them, and then you sort of pick up and go to another character. So I kept wondering when I first saw the shot, where was the shot supposed to focus on? What was the subject? Are we introducing a character here? And why does the camera follow one car or one person and then leave that person and follow someone else after only a few seconds? Didn't really make sense to me. I'm not really sure what the point of that was, but the scene was the young man confronting his father about having stolen his new wife away, apparently. But as the film goes on, you see them they're all staying at the same hotel, the cast and the crew, and so they're hanging out socially as well as making the film itself. You've got the actor. He's gotten his girlfriend a job as a script supervisor, and she's just kind of goofing off, and she ends up having, I think, an affair with a stuntman and riding off with him. And that makes the actor really upset, and he's not willing to perform, or just he just gets temperamental. And the lead actress, the Jacqueline Bissett character, she ends up having a one-nighter with him, and then someone informs her husband about it, and that causes problems. Meanwhile, the director's got to deal with all the various production problems involving locations and what have you. I like this movie. This was a decent movie, but I didn't find it particularly memorable. And it took me a little while. I watched it like 2 weeks ago, and I'm only just getting around to making a video about it, just because I didn't feel that strongly about it one way or the other. Decent movie, you know, not a bad movie. It really reminds me a lot of Robert Altman with the whole sort of range of characters, and there's no real sort of particular story, a plot that's being followed with something, you know, they're just making the movie. The plot is that they're making the movie, and there's a whole bunch of little incidents involving each of the characters that happens in the meantime. So yeah, I apologize again for the lateness of this, because a lot of the times I'll watch a movie like this and enjoy it, but then I'm reluctant to make the video because I have to take the time to look up a whole bunch of information on it. I'm not familiar with the actors, who they are, you know, and so I have to look them up or refresh my memory as far as the plot goes. You know, most of these movies I'm going into completely cold. I don't know anything at all about the story, and so I'm taking each scene as it comes. Normally when a movie comes out, something new, I've seen the trailers, I've read the reviews, I've read a whole bunch of stuff about what the movie's about leading up to the release, and so I'm very, very familiar with what's going to be happening before the film even starts. Whereas these, you know, I'm surprised by a lot of stuff, but mostly it's just they don't sit in my brain as long beforehand, and so I have a hard time maybe grasping onto something. And so doing all the research involving, you know, who are all these people, I don't know them, it takes extra time, and so I apologize for that. I apologize for not doing a video right away, because if I did, the movie would be more fresh in my mind. Thanks again to Aaron, aka FilmSpeak, for the recommendation, and I encourage everyone watching to leave me a comment. If there's a particular 1973 movie you'd like me to review. I've got a few requests in the offing. Is that the right term for it? But they're coming up. But please, you know, take a look at the playlist that I've got in the links in the description on the ones that I've done so far. If you've got a particular 1973 movie you'd like me to review, yeah, let me know, and I will get to it. I will, promise. Thanks again for watching. Bye.